Coming up, softball season is up and running. Stay tuned to find out about the new Rival Throwdown.
Meanwhile, a new young player has entered the NBA All-Star chat.
And finally, the Super Bowl is not the only bowl to catch this weekend.
All these stories and more tonight on Palmetto State Sports.
From the Blue Ridge Mountains and through the Midlands down to the coast, there's plenty of sports highlights and moments here in South Carolina. There's only one place where you'll catch all the action. This is Palmetto State Sports. Welcome into Palmetto State Sports. I'm Will Kronsberg.
And I'm Brianna Walton. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Going into his second year as head football coach, Shane Beamer has already had to make a few repairs to his staff.
Outside linebacker coach Mike Peterson was poached by the new Florida coach Billy Napper early last month. And now tight end coach Eric Kimmery and director of football relations Connor Shaw have left as well.
Both former Gamecock quarterbacks, Kimmery has returned to the high school range to coach at the Baylor School in Tennessee, while Shaw's future is more uncertain.
Coach Beamer has already made a pair of hires for on-field roles, bringing in Jacksonville Jaguars assistant defensive line coach Sterling Lucas and New York Giants offensive assistant Jody Wright.
It will be a return to college football and the first lead position coach jobs for both, but Wright comes in with a strong recruiting background, having worked in player personnel for Nick Saban at Alabama.
Down in Conway, South Carolina, Coastal Carolina Baseball will be hosting their annual Step Up to the Plate silent auction.
In previous years, the auction was held in person along with a nice dinner, but due to COVID-19, the auction will be online.
This auction helped raise money for the Grand Strand Miracle League across the state. Proceeds also go to the Mike Pruitt Scholarship Fund. Over the past 16 years, the Chanticleer baseball program has been actively involved in helping the Miracle League step up to the plate by coaching and having fun with the kids during the games. The auction is open now and will close February 13th. Fans can sign up by texting STEP UP to 501-322-8660. And despite what Punxsutawney Phil may tell you, spring is in the air, and that means Gamecock softball just 3 days away. Softball season kicks off in Columbia with the Gamecock Invitational this Friday through Sunday, with North Carolina, Virginia, George Washington, and Lipscomb joining South Carolina in a round-robin tournament. For the Gamecocks, it signals the beginning of a grueling non-conference schedule that also includes next week's Battle at the Beach, the Carolina Classic, and the Garnet and Black round-robin. Coming in 2022, South Carolina returns most of its staff in the circle, including ace Kelsey O, but is looking to fresh faces around the diamond according to Coach Beverly Smith.
As you know, we're trying to figure out who's playing the middle infield. We had a middle infield that was the same for 4 and 5 years with Kenzie McGuire and Matt Goldwell. And so figuring out what our middle is going to look like, I think is going to be important. Like I said, we're young and talented. And I think just getting those players reps is going to be important. But I think we're going to start Emma Sellers. She's a freshman at shortstop. She's looked great in practice. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy watching her play. You can catch the Gamecocks on SEC Network Plus at 6 p.m. on Friday, 1 and 3:30 on Saturday, and 3:30 again Sunday. And if you tune in, you might just hear some familiar voices. On the other side of the state, Clemson's softball team is also getting geared up for this season. In just their third season ever, Clemson will start out on the road at the FGCU Kickoff Classic, playing Kent State, Texas, Boston College, and Long Island University and Florida Gulf Coast. Clemson looks to have another impressive running. Just last year in their first full season, the Tigers won the ACC with a 29-5 record. And during that season, in the first ever matchup between South Carolina and Clemson, the Tigers shut out the Gamecocks 6-0. This Palmetto State matchup will continue, but this season we'll catch 2 games this time. The first game will be at Clemson March 30th, and the second battle will happen here in Columbia on April 12th. I really just hope we can win at least one of them. It would be nice to grab a win against our rivals since it's maybe not happening on the gridiron lately. I know, this is an exciting matchup for us as fans. We've gotten every other sport along with this Clemson and Carolina rivalry, and now we can add a softball to it. Hopefully our Gamecocks will pull off the win this time. That's all for headlines in Palmetto State Sports, but coming up, a look at the sports world beyond South Carolina, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Outside of the Carolinas, a look into the pros. SGTV News 4 sports reporter Spencer Ball is here to break down the NBA trade deadline. Spencer?
This has been and will continue to be a very exciting week in the NBA. With the trade deadline just 2 days away, we've seen some major moves already happen and more are likely on the way. The first big deal we saw was the Cavaliers trading away Ricky Rubio, a first-round pick, and 2 second-rounders to get Karis LeVert. Adding another scoring threat will surely help them make a playoff push, and they currently sit at the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Just this morning, we saw another blockbuster deal with the Portland Trail Blazers sending C.J. McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell to the New Orleans Pelicans for Josh Hart, Thomas Satoransky, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and Didi Louzada, along with a first-round draft pick and 2 second-round draft picks. This trade will give the Pelicans a much-needed scoring guard, and the Blazers may still be looking to sell their other superstar, Damian Lillard, either before the deadline or further down the road in the offseason. The most recent trade of the day, however, might be the most interesting, as the Sacramento Kings trade away rising star Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson to the Indiana Pacers for Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, and a 2027 second-round pick. The Kings finally managed to get a quality big man to pair with De'Aaron Fox, but will it be worth trading away Tyrese Halliburton? Only time will tell. This year's NBA All-Star Game will take place in Cleveland and will have the same captains as last year, with Kevin Durant in the East and LeBron James in the West. This year's starters from the East include Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Trae Young, and DeMar DeRozan. We also see LaMelo Ball from Charlotte making the roster this year. He becomes the 4th youngest All-Star to ever make this game. In the West, we'll see Nikola Jokic, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, and John Morant round out the team. The All-Star Game draft will take place at 6:30 this Thursday on TNT, and the actual game will be played on Sunday, February 20th at 8 p.m., also on TNT. After the break, get ready to learn more about another bowl game happening this Sunday. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Courtney Holman. Well, the Super Bowl isn't the only big game happening on Sunday. Get ready to cheer on Team Rough and Team Fluff as the 18th annual Puppy Bowl is back. The Puppy Bowl celebrates adoptable pups and showcases the incredible shelters and people who dedicate their lives to helping these furry friends find their forever home. And this year, more than 67 shelters from 33 states are bringing more than 100 puppy players to participate. Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart will serve as the hosts and coaches for this event, with the halftime show featuring adoptable kittens having a beach party as fans learn about their heartwarming adoption stories. You can tune into this spectacular event beginning Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th at 2 o'clock.
This is adorable. I mean, in the past, I've been more of, like a Super Bowl person.
Yeah, I get it.
But this is a good precursor to the Super Bowl, 2 p.m. when people are just kind of getting set. Purchase some dogs. My family has gotten a dog in the past year, so I think that'll be exciting. My cousin just got a dog, too, so maybe this will be a fun time to kind of look at that. And also the kiddens that happen.
Yes, I've never had a dog. I wanted a dog, but my mom was like, no, we don't like dogs. But I think the Puppy Bowl is a great, relaxer, warmer, with COVID, not having the Super Bowl, things like that.
And the pun of Snoop Dogg being a coach.
Snoop Dogg, Snoop double OG.
Love that.
Yes. Well, coming up after the break, a check of Palmetto State Sports calendar. Stay tuned.
Before we go, let's take a look at the Palmetto State calendar.
Gamecock men's basketball is once again in action right now, hosting the 5th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats at Colonial Life Arena as we speak.
And Don Staley and the Gamecocks women's will follow suit, heading to Kentucky on Thursday night, while both teams will be in Athens to face Georgia over the weekend, with the men's playing at 2 p.m. on Saturday and the women at noon on Sunday.
And like I mentioned earlier in the show, the Gamecock softball team will host the Gamecock Invitational this weekend, facing Virginia on Friday, Lipscomb and George Washington on Saturday, and UNC on Sunday.
To our northwest, both Clemson basketball teams hit the court 3 times this week. Both teams just passed halftime in their contest tonight, as do women's visit Virginia Tech and the men's play host to North Carolina.
As for the rest of the week, the Tiger women welcome Wake Forest on Thursday and Georgia Tech on Sunday, while the men's team hosts Duke Thursday and Notre Dame on Saturday.
And the Tigers softball team has a big start to their season, heading to Florida Gulf Coast for the FGCU Kickoff Classic, where they play 5 games from Thursday through Monday.
And finally, Coastal Carolina will double up a couple of Peach State opponents this week as the men's team stays home and the women hit the road. Both squads face off against Georgia State on Thursday and Georgia Southern on Saturday.
Meanwhile, the Chanticleer softball team will host the Kickin' Chicken Classic this weekend, with 2 games against Purdue and Georgetown and 1 contest with East Carolina.
Next week signals the start of baseball season, so things are only getting busier and busier around the Palmetto State.
That's all we have for tonight's edition of Palmetto State Sports.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SGTV Sports, and to keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV News 4 Sports, I'm Will Kronsberg.
And I'm Brianna Walton. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina. Forever to thee.